going on? Jamar here, Vegas Sense. Another outside video here. I thought it would only be fitting to basically go over Scentual Obsessions new fragrance formulations, and I have several different samples that I'm gonna basically go over here. And let me go ahead and let this plane go by. So yeah, man, this is gonna be on their new formulations of their fragrances. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 different fragrances that I'm gonna go over here. So I'm gonna make sure I run through these pretty quickly so that the video isn't too long. First one I have is their new formulation of Virgin Island water. And I did just recently do a video on that, and I said that in my opinion, their formulation of Virgin Island water was definitely the best that I've smelled so far from any sort of interpretation or clone or whatnot. And this one is definitely the same thing. Like, you really get this really sharp lime note when you initially spray it on, and it lasts for quite a long time. I want to say maybe, 20-25 minutes or so, and then after that, then the coconut starts to slowly creep in there. But again, it's not like this really super creamy coconut like with what you get in Hawaii Volcano from Alexandria fragrances. It's there, it's present, but it still takes sort of a backseat to the lime note in this particular fragrance, the lime as well as the rum. So you do still get a little bit of booziness with this one. All right, so this one, I haven't completely tested the longevity out of it. I would say, again, it doesn't project as strongly or as loudly as the Alexandria version. But the time that I did wear it, I was able to get at least, I want to say about 6 hours or so out of it before I went to bed. Obviously, I didn't really smell it when I woke up the next morning, but it was definitely still there after about 6 hours with, at least light projection, I would say maybe about here or so. Definitely still going strong. Next one, Silver Mountain water. So I've smelled this one, I've smelled Alexandria's version, I've smelled Armand's version, I have the Alt Fragrances version. Now, from comparing all of them, and again, I haven't smelled the original Silver Mountain water yet, so I can't really say how close any of these are to the original Silver Mountain water. What I will say though is this one definitely projects the loudest, it definitely projects the longest, and it lasts the longest out of all of those fragrances. The Alt fragrances, the Alexandria, the Armand, the most that I got out of any of those fragrances is maybe about 5-6 hours or so. This, easily lasts on me 10+ hours for sure. This new formulation, haven't worn it for a full day yet because I do actually have a full bottle of the old formulation that I still wear. But from when I did spray this on, I definitely noticed that it was noticeably stronger than the old formulation. All right, so that's Silver Mountain water, or Scentual Obsessions. Next fragrance, I actually have a full bottle of this one, and initially I was sent all of these samples, and I received a little sample in one of these bottles of the pre-royal water, and I liked this fragrance so much that same night I went and bought this bottle of it, which is, again, royal water. This is really, it's a really citrus heavy fragrance. It's got notes like, citrus notes, mint, I believe it's got basil in it. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain this one. I feel like this fragrance is perfect for like warm weather. It definitely, it projects pretty strongly. I know when I wore it that night, I definitely still smelt it a little bit on me when I woke up the next day. So this one is definitely a beast. I would say you probably don't need any more than about 3 sprays out of this one. This one is really, really good. But again, it's definitely, it's a citrus heavy fragrance. It does smell a bit mature, so I wouldn't necessarily say that I would, probably wear this out a lot of places. It would probably be more so for me to just kind of enjoy it at home as more of a casual scent. But I love this fragrance. I really do. And that's, again, why I bought a full bottle of it. So again, that's Royal Water. All right, next one, I would say this one is probably the strongest out of all of the samples that Kevin sent me. And this one is going to be their interpretation of Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultra Mall. Now, I can actually smell this with the cap on. Like, that's how strong this is. And I mean, even just taking the cap off, you really don't have to get too close to the atomizer to smell the stuff. I wore this the other day. I want to say it might have been Wednesday night. I think I wore this. And I mean, no lie, I can probably go in there right now and grab the shirt that I sprayed this on, and I can probably still smell it on that shirt. Like, that's how strong this was. I know at least 2 days after that, I definitely still smelled it on that shirt. And on my skin, I mean, I sprayed this on at about maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock that night. Didn't take a shower again until about probably 2 to 3 p.m. like the next day, because I woke up pretty late, and it was still there on my skin. Like, and it was still pretty strong as well. So this one, I've never smelled the original Ultra Mall. I know it's definitely a sweeter fragrance. And it's heavy on like the pear note. You get that with this one as well, especially in the opening. This one, I would say, is a amazing club fragrance. Like, if you want to be like that loud dude, in the club, this is definitely what you would want to wear for sure. And I mean, this one, yeah, man, it smells really good. I would say if you have a girl that likes sweet fragrances, definitely wear this around her and she'll love you for it. Next one is Straight to Heaven, and that's Straight to Heaven by Killian. This one I didn't really enjoy too much, only because I just didn't really enjoy the scent of it. Nothing against, I guess, the inspiration or whatnot, but just the actual scent itself, I'm not really too much of a fan of. I would say it sort of smells like, at least in the dry down anyway, it sort of smells like, I don't know, like dry wood, like, or wood shavings. Like, that's literally what it smells like to me. So if you're a fan of this scent, I would say, it's definitely a good pickup for $30 for a 2-ounce bottle. Just at least for me, I wasn't too much of a fan of this one. All right, so that one was Straight to Heaven. This one here, Dior Sauvage. This one, I want to say this one hasn't changed too much from the old formulation of Sauvage that I remember having. This one, again, just basically focuses on the opening part of Dior Sauvage, where you get, like the pepper and the citruses or whatnot. That's basically what this one focuses on. You still don't really get like the ambroxan dry down that you get from Dior Sauvage, or like an Armand Fontana. I would say the Armand Fontana, that one more so focuses on the dry down of Dior Sauvage and pretty much nails it identically. This one, not so much. This one is definitely it's trying to dial in that opening. So if you like the opening of Dior Sauvage, I would say definitely go for this one. If not, if you more so prefer the dry down, then you're going to be disappointed with this one. So far, after wearing this for a full day, it didn't really project as loudly as I would want it to. It's definitely not like Dior Sauvage EDT type projection. I've never smelled the EDP of Dior Sauvage, but I mean, assuming that one is, you know, a more toned down version as far as the projection goes, I would say this one is probably more along the lines of that. So that one is Dior Sauvage. Next one here that I'm gonna do is Pure White Cologne by Creed, and this is definitely gonna be I would say probably the next fragrance that I buy from Scentual Obsessions. This one, you get like this really, really nice hair fragrance or note in the opening spray. And it sort of carries along, you know, throughout the rest of the fragrance. This one is definitely like a light, floral, semi-sweet fragrance. I would say it's definitely office safe for sure. This one, I don't know, I don't have too many words to say about it other than I really like it. I definitely think that this one is a pretty versatile scent. You know, again, I think it's definitely good for the office. It's good for, you know, it's upscale events. If you're dressing up suit and tie, you just want to smell like really bright and fresh and clean. This one, I would say, would definitely do the job for sure. It definitely lasted on me all day. I feel like my nose kind of went blind to it after maybe about 3 hours or so. But I did actually get a compliment on it the one day that I did wear it to work. So that's definitely a good sign. All right, so again, that one is Pure White Cologne. Next one, Elysium, Roja Elysium. This one is definitely a 1-to-1, 100% clone copy, whatever you want to call it, of Roja's Elysium. I just got this one in today. Kevin threw this in along with the royal water that I received. And this one, I sprayed it on my right hand, and I sprayed the sample of Roja Elysium that I have on my left hand. From the opening spray until the point where they pretty much dried down, they smelled identical. I would say the Roja Elysium had just a tiny bit more sharpness to it in the first initial spray, but I would say probably after about 5 minutes or so, these were completely indistinguishable. They were absolutely the same. So in that case, I'm gonna have to say that this one is the best interpretation of Roja Elysium that I've smelled. Again, I do own Zion by Alexandria Fragrances, and that one is definitely a beast of a fragrance. You know, it lasts forever. It pretty much smells identical to Elysium, but that one, at least in the opening, and I would say maybe for about the first 20-30 minutes or so, it's noticeably greener than Roja Elysium for sure. So this one, like I said, this one, there's no difference between this and Roja Elysium. So even though this one does go for a little bit more than the other fragrances do on the Scentual Obsessions website, this one goes for $40 for a 2-ounce bottle. It's still absolutely worth it in my opinion. I haven't tested the longevity out on this one yet because, again, I just received this today. Just pulled it out of the mailbox a few hours ago, so I still need some time with it. But I'm going to be doing independent reviews on all of these fragrances soon. Alright, so the last one that I'm going to do here is the interpretation of Creed Aventus. So this one is definitely different from the old formulation. It absolutely is. Now, how close is it to Creed Aventus? I'm gonna say that it's not that close to Creed Aventus, but I think that's done purposely. So after talking to Kevin about this particular formulation of Aventus, he let me know that he wanted to have that pineapple note be present throughout the entire life of the fragrance, which is not necessarily the case with Creed Aventus in real life. You more so get the pineapple, like, you know, in the opening, in the top notes or whatever, and then it kind of slowly creeps away and turns into, like, you know, more so like the muskiness and like the patchouli and whatnot. So you more so in the woody notes, more so you get that. This one, I would say, it's not really smoky at all, so they kind of take the smoke out of this one and they replace it with the pineapple and, you know, more sweetness, I would say. So this one is like a sweeter interpretation of Aventus. It definitely, it lasts all day. I know the day that I wore it, I sprayed it on at, you know, 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was still on my skin when I got home at like 8 o'clock at night. So this one, performance-wise, is, you know, it's absolutely fine. But if you want something that smells identical to Creed Aventus, then this one might not be the one that you would want. I would say this one is more so along the lines of what Parfums Vintage does with their interpretations of Creed Aventus, where, you know, some interpretations have more vanilla in them or whatnot, and, you know, they kind of throw out different variations. That's more along the lines of what this one is, but it still does smell like Aventus, just not 100%. All right, so go ahead and check all of these fragrances out, man. Again, all of these fragrances for a 2-ounce bottle are $30 plus shipping, except for the Elysium. The Elysium is $40 plus shipping, which is still, you know, a great deal for sure. And I'm also gonna leave in the description my code for 5% off. So if you go to their website and put the code in, you'll get 5% off. It's Vegas 5, I believe. I have to double check, but I'll put it again in the description. And yeah, man, go ahead and check them out. Scentual Obsessions. So that's Jamar here, Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video. Hey guys, one more thing. So listen, I do have a few samples that I do want to give away. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm also going to be giving away my bottle of the Straight to Heaven by Scentual Obsessions, as well as a sample of their new formulation of Aventus. So it is a 5 ml sample. Each sample obviously is, you know, had a couple sprays sprayed out of it just for me to smell them, but they're pretty much full. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be picking a random comment out of the comment section, and I'll go ahead and send both samples out to you, so you can go ahead and try out both the Creed Aventus and the Straight to Heaven by Killian. Okay, so go ahead and leave a comment below about, I don't know, what's your favorite fragrance house, and I'll definitely pick one of the comments and get the fragrances out to you. All right, see you on the next video.